Hi, everybody. We are the Coincidental Trendsetters. I am Lee.
And I'm Sandra.
And we are here, but we don't know how we got here.
Today more than ever.
I know. Sandra's already started in on her glass of wine. We're not actually recording this Tuesday morning.
No, we're not. A good day, a bad day, and a do not ask. And I've drank half of it. So it was up on the do not ask.
Email Sandra. She'll tell you where she got that glass. So, Sandra, today we're going to talk about clothes.
We are.
And we're going to talk about body types. And although you and I are both tall, I forget exactly how tall you are.
5'9".
Okay, so I'm 5'11". We are both very tall, but we have very different body types. And as you guys know, we do not like to talk about body types as fruit. We have a very different way of talking about that at Cabby. So I'm going to turn it over to Sandra that way, and she's going to tell you all about it.
Awesome. Well, so this idea was revolutionary to me when I started Cabby, because I remember I was not into fashion when I first started and didn't know how to dress my body, and just thought that if you just lose weight, then everything was fine and you'd look good in everything. That is not true. Anyone who knows fashion knows that everything is cut on different biases and it's cut for different body types. Well, I didn't know this. So when I came into Cabby and learned this, it was like mind blowing and completely changed the interaction that I had with clothing and helped me make a choice. Because every season we get 100 something pieces of clothing. And first of all, our closets could not handle keeping them all. Second, they're not meant for everybody. Every piece is not meant for every body type. So how do you know what is right for you? So we're going to do a little activity that I love to do. And we're going to show you an example of 2 body types, but we're going to talk about 4. So the first is what I am, and that's called an inverted triangle. So think inverted upside down. And that means I have a very,
I'm trying to do it.
I have very broad shoulders and a very broad back. And so you can tell everything you need to know about your body type with how your arms lay. So Lee and I are going to give 2 examples, and then I'm going to give you the opposite of what both of us are as an example. So I hate standing up, but we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay. So here is an example of my body type. So you see, I can't even move my arms in anymore because my shoulders, like, you can't lose weight in your shoulders. It is what it is. Your body.
Very wide shoulders.
Yes.
Yep.
So I have all of this room in between here. See, I can't even move my shoulders. So inverted triangle, which means everything, I have to fit everything to my shoulders. Mm-hmm. Now, if I was anyone who's a regular triangle, that would be the opposite. So your shoulders are going to be narrow, and then your hips are going to be wider, which means that when you put your arms down, your hips would be on the outside of your arms. Mm-hmm. So let's look at the other type. So now let's look at Lee. Lee is a perfect hourglass. That doesn't mean her body's perfect. It is pretty darn good, but she's a perfect hourglass, which means that when she pulls back her shirt, you can see she has that defined waist, and her arm is going to be, it's going to touch her hip, but you see there is some room in there, in between there. So we know that her waist comes in. Now the opposite, or the difference in what Lee is versus a rectangle would mean that the arms would be flush against the body the whole way down. You wouldn't see any space in between. Now, why do these matter? Again, the four main ones are inverted triangle, rectangle, and hourglass. Now, why does this matter? It's because different garments are going to fit you differently. And so I learned, for me, the best kind of bottom for me to wear is going to be a legging. It's going to be a pencil trouser, tighter to the body. It's going to be a malegging. If anyone knows Cabby maleggings, I mean, those were, I have like 60 pairs of them, no joke. Or a pencil skirt. So anything that's close to the body. Okay. I am venturing out into the wide leg a little bit, but definitely that's going to be a one-off. It's not going to be something I'd wear every day. And then to counteract something that's more form-fitting on the bottom, I'm going to wear long sweaters, long jackets, long blazers. Those are a staple for me. And then I can mix and match different tops in there as I see fit. But that is a true staple for me. We're going to show you some of those later, just because that really works with my body type. I feel very comfortable with that. And it kind of minimizes the wide nature of my shoulders and my back. So Lee, what about you?
So I love my shoulders. We should talk about that. Sandra actually has fabulous legs. So she likes to emphasize those with the thin pencil skirts and leggings and everything. And I actually very much like my shoulders. So I do wear things that kind of show off my shoulders. And then I like to show off the fact that I do have that waist. So you guys who know me well, I am always front tucking. I am always wearing a belt with things. I feel very odd not wearing a belt or something that tucks, that shows off that I do have a waist. I love wearing dresses that actually go in at the waist, but I have a very, very long torso. So even though I'm 5'11", I carry my height in my torso. So some dresses, the waistline is too high on me. So I have to be very cautious about that. As far as legs go, I usually can wear both the slim leg, the pencil trousers and everything, and the long flare legs. Either way, it's going to balance out okay on my figure.
Yeah. So the information about this and the reason that this is freeing is that we have to understand what garments work for us and what doesn't work for us, because not everything will. And so a lot of people will say, well, Cabby stylists always look good in all their pictures. Well, that's because we don't post what we don't look good in. We know, we've been educated on that. So
we pick pieces, right? We pick certain pieces to put on.
We absolutely do. So we're going to pull a few of those, or I'm going to pull a few of those. But before I do that, I want to go back to Lee's comment about the belts. So she wants to accent her waist, which is great. I really don't have a waist, which is interesting. So what do I do? I love belts though. So what do I do to counteract that? Well, I have learned a hack for belts that, listen up, ladies, if you don't like wearing them through the belt loop. I have so my proportion from my waist to my crotch, is that an appropriate word to say on here? Whatever. Is really long. It's weird. It's just this weird situation. So I want to actually minimize that with the belt. So I don't wear it through the belt loops. I wear it through just around my hips and then tuck in my shirt like a front tuck and blouse it out a little bit. And then it minimizes, it makes it look like I have a really low waist, which then slims out everything in front. So a little hack, and you can do that with scarves as well. A little hack, if you don't like wearing something in, some people, now this is totally inappropriate, but you'll know the term if you know it. Some people want to hide that fupa, which is like that, we're not going to say what it means, but if you know, they want to hide that. And that's a great way to do that with that little belt trick. That's what I always do. So great idea.
I love that.
If you want to just, play around with belts a little bit. So love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's pull some ideas, and I'm going to start first. Let's move my big old chair. I'm going to start first, and the best situation for me this season so far, book club cardigan. Goes over everything. It is nice and long. I adore it with almost every top that I have. You see, I have a vintage long sweater on. I wear long sweaters almost every day. You're not going to see my face in this, but whatever. So a great piece for me. I can mix and match all kinds of other tops with that. I could pull that out, but we'll just stick with the toppers. This is amazing on me. King Cobra coat. Love this. Again, the length of it makes it perfect for me.
Really balances you out from your shoulders down to your hips. Yeah.
Absolutely. What else is going to work really well for me? Can't find it, but the black blazer works really well for me. But here's the thing. This is a shorter jacket, right? This still works for me if I choose to use proportion correctly. So what I'll do is wear a longer top. I will make sure that I'm playing with proportion. It doesn't mean that we have to not ever go with a more cropped jacket. It just means we have to be careful about what we're wearing with it, because one of my favorites is the touring jacket. Absolutely love this.
Love this.
Before Cabby, I would have stayed away from this altogether because I would have said it was too short. It's not, as long as I play along with proportion.
I love that. Absolutely. All those jackets you pulled are awesome, Sandra.
I love the jackets this season. Every season I kind of go with a theme, and this season is jackets for me. I absolutely love all of them. So Lee, tell me some of the stuff and I'll pull it that you're gravitating toward this season.
So I am loving that celebrity top, the green with the purple flowers, sleeveless. It's over there. Yep, that group.
which is funny.
Yeah, this one.
Favorite one.
So fabulous. I get to show off my shoulders with that. And the elastic gives a little bit of a peplum, and it's low enough for me where my waist actually is, or even a little lower. So that is one of my favorites. And the V-neck is very flattering on anybody who's a little bit big, broader, especially in the top part of your body, because it just narrows you out. I absolutely adore that top. And it looks really nice underneath that touring jacket that Sandra pulled out, because the peplum hangs down a little bit, and it pops that little bit of citron that's right in the center of those florals. So I really, really am crazy about that. I also really like, Sandra, you know, it's funny. I like also, which I did not think I was going to like, I love that slinky turtleneck with the stripes across. Huh. So some people that are broad, like shoulders or something, stay away from horizontal stripes, and you should not. It is all based on the proportions of that and the fabric and how it gathers on the body. This one is not hugging too tight, but it's fitted enough to show off any curves in your body that you have. And the cap sleeve is so flattering. It just hits perfectly right at just past the shoulder. It's beautiful on. I really enjoy that one. I was surprised how much I like that. As far as toppers, I've already talked about the touring, and I'm a big fan of that Professor P coat too, guys. I think it might be that shirt tail hem and how that hits so nicely. It's not a short jacket, but because of the angles on it, it really shows off that. And the big wide collar with double V really kind of just proportions my shoulders, really elongates the body, I think, because of it's a long coat and the vertical line that comes down from that double lapel. I just think it's fabulous. It's a really, really nice coat.
Yeah. It is. Let me pull my big old chair back in.
Which you've got some stuff on the back of that chair.
I do. So the long and short of it here, ladies, is that there are options for your body type in here, and things that are going to make you look and feel amazing. You just have to know what your body type is. So in the comments, both Lee and I are going to put that little trick about how to use your arms to figure out really kind of what body type you are. And then I would just encourage you to set up an appointment with Lee if you're Lee's client, or me if you're my client, or one of us if you're a new client. Reach out to one of us and we'd love to help you, because it makes all the difference. And knowing how to accent the best parts of your body is the whole key to fashion, because we all have parts we want to accent. We all have parts we want to stay away from. It doesn't matter what size you are. Everyone feels that way. So let's find the best parts of you and let's accent them. Excuse me. So we are so grateful that you spent time with us today. And we know you could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here with us today. So it may have been an accident that you came across this, but actually I'm messing this up, Lee. What's our tagline? I need more wine.
I'll finish it off for you.
Finish it off, please.
It may have been just a coincidence that you found this YouTube and you're joining us today, but trust me, it was no accident. We're the Coincidental Trendsetters. We'll see you later, guys.
And I'll go learn our tagline, Lee. So we'll see y'all next week. Bye.